lot of people, and today I'm going to be talking, I guess, a bit of an update of um, the situation from last Thursday. Well, not last Thursday, like, not the one, that just went past, the one before that. So basically, the laptop that I use, to do computer tasks, basically stopped turning on. Um, and because of that, it definitely disrupted um, some stuff I was going to do. Now, by stuff, I pretty much exclusively mean video stuff, um, and also, um, what's the word? My enjoyment, like, what's the word? Just stuff to do, when I have time. It makes my life harder than having a working computer. Now, of course, I do have quite a lot of computers. I got this other Asus one that I got back in 2016. Um, and basically I'm using that. It's not very good. It's from 2016. It's got a Pentium M3710. It's got 4 gigs of soldered on DDR3 RAM. And it's got I think it's a 120 gig SSD. So, it's not very high end. But the good news is, quite soon, I won't have to deal with it. In fact, I've ordered parts for the new computer. They're literally just called Clyde PC. I don't know what else to call it. Let's not come up with some clever name. It's just going to be Clyde PC. Um, yeah. So you might be asking, ooh, where are the parts now? I didn't bring up the iPad to look at the exact part names and stuff, but I can remember some of the parts, and I've already got the existing parts that I have had for a while, so I'll also talk about that. Because, spoiler, I'm using some existing parts, basically storage and the GPU for now. I do want to replace the GPU in the relatively near future. So you might be asking, okay, so what's the storage situation going to be roughly? So let's try and explain what the storage situation will be. So earlier this year, I bought two 2 terabyte Western Digital hard drives. I got them for like 30 quid each, brand new, with that. And yeah, I've basically not used them because I didn't really have a way to use them. But of course, when I've got a working desktop, just plug them in and boom, I got 2 terabyte storage because I will be running it in a RAID configuration. RAID, where it's basically copying the same thing over 2 drives. That RAID, I can never remember the numbers. Yeah, so I'm trying to foolproof myself there. I've got, 480 gig SSD. It's already got an install of Fedora. Well, actually, I have two 480 gig SSDs with, one's Fedora, one's Navarra. Yeah, they're just SanDisks. If you're really that interested. Um, but I don't think I will actually be using that as the boot drive, because instead, what I think I'm going to be using for the boot drive is actually going to be NVMe M.2 Wi-Fi from the previous Asus laptop that, I said didn't turn on anymore. Might as well use it. It's already existing. It's not going to be used because literally it's the only thing with NVMe slot, apart from my new computer, which has 2 of them, in fact, so even more potential in the future. I think you probably can tell what I'm going to say. RAID SSD configuration, hopefully. But for now, not a RAID SSD configuration for my install. Yeah, so I've sort of already talked about the storage situation. If you want to know what GPU is, it's this MSI 1050 Ti overclock, which I'm going to hopefully actually overclock. Yeah, I've had it, since Opti, so 2020, late 2020, basically the same time as now, because the reason this is happening and why Opti happened is the same reason. It's where my birthday is. Okay? Yeah. After that, let's talk about the case. To be determined, but there's 2 potential case options, and both of them come with a Blu-ray drive. So, yeah, I'm gonna have Blu-ray support. Nice. After that, might be asking what's the motherboard. Spoiler, it's just a Gigabyte motherboard. Now, I want to say I've not heard good things about Gigabyte, which is slightly concerning. But the other option was MSI, and yeah, let's say something happened with me and my dad. That's why it's not MSI, unfortunately, even though it would have been a better option because it has 6 SATA ports and 2 M.2 slots. Just saying. Yeah. So I've done that. The motherboard, storage, GPU. Now, one of the most other important things is this. Well, it's one of the most important bits. This CPU. And spoiler that, it's a Ryzen. Never would have guessed. In fact, it's a Ryzen 5 3600. So, there you go. In case you aren't aware, I'm basically not getting anything new. The only new thing is the PSU, which I'll talk about in a sec. PSU is going to be a Corsair. Modular, it's modular, don't worry. I went out of my way. Can't remember the exact number. I want to say it's like 550 or 650 watts. It's one of, the lower end ones, but still modular, so it's still not cheap. It's about 100 quid. Yeah, of course I've also ordered thermal paste, and I also have a CPU cooler incoming because I need a CPU cooler for the CPU, because from what I could tell, the CPU does not come with one. So yeah. Anything else? So CPU, RAM. I'm gonna start off with 16 gigs of DDR4, as you could probably imagine by the fact I said Ryzen. DDR4, so that's a bit of an upgrade, although to be fair, the Asus laptop is the first device I've had with DDR4, but finally it's arrived into the desktop. Yeah, so 16 gigs DDR4, 3200 megahertz RAM, and yeah. So overall, it's not maybe the most exciting build ever. I mean, I will of course make videos out of it because I sort of need video ideas. I'm always very tight on video ideas, so that's one advantage of it. And then of course the other advantage is I have a computer that's fast, able to edit in theory all of this, because potentially something could go wrong. I don't think there should be. Fast, should handle my tasks pretty well. Yeah, of course, get, like Ryzen 7 or Ryzen 9. But if I were to do that, that's in the future, because right now, PC need not too expensive, so that's why I'm going with what I have gone with. In a month or two, I might be building a PC for someone else. It's more high end than mine, I'll spoil that. I'll probably see if I can make video out of it. Hopefully I can, because I sort of want to do that. I think it'd be cool, because building PC is not necessarily a thing I've done in the channel, or a thing I've done in general, but building a PC shouldn't be that hard. The hardest part, I guess, is just picking the individual parts, you know? Yeah. Another thing is I have more content to get tomorrow, well, soon, as I'm getting another iMac. I've been given one, not buying, given. I don't know really anything about it, apart from apparently I've had it for about 5 or 6 years. So it feels like brand new back then, and it's quite a recent one. Even if it isn't, even if it's a few years old, it's probably still, like, at that time, it still would be one of my newest computers, because I don't really have that many new computers. So yeah. Also, getting other stuff alongside it that I can squeeze content out of. So it's going to hopefully be quite a content goldmine. So I guess in a way this is sort of the plans for this month. Well, the PC will probably be this month. I don't know about the other stuff. Hopefully this month as well. Yeah. So yeah. Hopefully you sort of enjoyed that little discussion thing. I only found about like the iMac and the other stuff that comes included with it, from what I can tell. Yesterday, like last night. Yeah. Anything else to say? No, I don't really think so. So I don't know what tomorrow's video will exactly be. That's for me tomorrow to find out. But hopefully you enjoyed this, and goodbye. Bye.